I'm recording.
Okay. So you wanted to know how the flight with the Anthro did.
Was it interesting or?
It was very strong, but it was definitely different than most times, and I would consider it interesting. I distinctly felt his field move my center of gravity from one end of my body to another very strongly and very quickly, so he was very capable in directing the flight. And it felt much stronger than for most humans, but not for all humans. Some humans have had a much stronger effect than moving me like way outside of my body's edge.
Oh yeah.
But he was able to move me inside my body to like one edge to another very quickly and very efficiently, that it felt like I didn't see him move. It was that fast and strong, but I could like sense that I saw him move. He was also very talented in how he launched the flare activity to disrupt the other guy's missile lock. He did it very well. He didn't get hit once, and he very distinctly, in almost a like raspy alien voice, asked for water several times, which is the first time I've had somebody say water on that film. They tried to keep it to like military terms. That's the first time I heard somebody say water. The main pilot, which is also the chiropractic guy who did my neck, which is also like almost constantly hurting, was at one point going like shouting that he's gonna bail now. And I asked why, and he was like, "Why do you think you have like an alien with you?" And you know, he was very insistent on that, and it took him a fair bit of time to actually lock the enemies successfully and destroy them, but he managed to do it as well, and he didn't get hit once. And what else? The radio work was fairly good, and it was fairly connecting and like open. It was like calm and open, and when they first contact each other hostilely on the radio, they like shout random short truths about why they're fighting, and it's a little weird, but they clearly had like a new thing that they were fighting. It felt like they weren't engaging like the Russians, for example.
Oh.
It felt like it was something new, and they were fairly like alarmed at the ability of the Anthro to like fly, and at several points he asked for water, which I considered interesting. Like I and the people around him asked how can they help him fly better, and he's like, water. You know, he's like, he distinctly needed water, and that's one of the basic types of impulses that I feel from sentient beings, which is why I did the shaking water bottle at the camera, signifying that, you know, I have water. So a lot of them migrated towards me, and that's basically the gist of it. It was a good flight. He was very, very quick and forceful in his movements, and very, very quick to the point of being very difficult to detect when he's moving, like being, you know, itchy quick.
Is that the typical anthropilot, or like the top of the top
No,
of the top?
He was like, if you take a civilian and give him an hour in a flight simulator, and then put him like in the second officer place where you can't fly the plane, but you can like control certain things, and you can like generate the feel of flying in a distinct direction without actually turning in that direction, without like with the main guy overseeing the actual flight. If you put him in that condition, like after an hour of training, he was very much like a civilian, but it was very good. He definitely had faster reactions than humans, definitely. And like the average human, but he wasn't better than like the best fighter pilots we have. He was like an average of their species compared to like if you take one of the top of the line fighter pilots. Ours would still probably be better, but it would be a very close call, and that's only because we have more war on our planet instead of like innate abilities, but they would put up a hell of a fight.
How was his stress level?
He was very excited. He was like a greyhound running. He was very excited, but he was very like he was very anxious and stressed that he wants to perform well to like impress you.
Oh.
Like, he had that feeling to him very strongly. I can give you the video, like put it in the link, or probably put it on the forum, but it probably won't open the same to you. But maybe.
Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
How long was the video?
It's about 30 minutes, but the actual combat is about 18 minutes. Then there's like a bombing part that I didn't watch because it's like boring to watch.
Yeah.
There's a distinct air flight period where they try to take control over the airspace around the region.
Yeah.
And that's when most of the stuff happens. You can't like control what happens in the flight. That's for like the AI to decide. But there are certain events that clearly distinguish, like if you shoot them down before a certain event, the plane takes a different turn than with the other events. So it feels like they're flying even though they're not flying. And it's very good that they're flying in second seat, that my guide gets to sit in the front seat and evaluate how the guy behind him is doing, and I can evaluate how he is doing and how the guy behind me is doing and so on. That we clearly have like a guide that we're evaluating from both directions.
So your chiropractor was in the main, and
Yeah,
the anthro was in the same plane?
Yeah, in the same plane.
He didn't like that, though.
He liked that. He would have possibly preferred to be able to direct it himself, but he considered it a very interesting setup. He's not used to fighter jets with two people in them because his species doesn't have a lot of that. They seem to have like a single-seater design system. Because it seems to be a little more difficult to like get in tune with the other pilot, well, like with the lesser levels of like telepathy and such.
Yeah.
And he found that to be a very interesting experience because, you know, like literally hunting with one instead of the entire pack, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt like an interesting experience for him. And his movements with the craft when he was controlling it and moving me, and we were looking at like how he moves in my field as if I'm the fighter craft, so it's more organic for him. That's kind of how we're doing it with the chiropractor. His movements were very strong but not violent, very like thought out, meticulous, but very quick.
Oh.
It was very interesting. And he's definitely like putting on some body weight. His muscles aren't like completely as in tone as in the picture he keeps sending, like the image we get from him.
It was my anthro that was flying?
Yeah, your anthro that was flying.
Oh, I thought you were taking one of his like pilots.
No, I'm just taking him. I put him on the flight thing. I thought of putting like a random anthro pilot, and I even thought of that very well, but I decided it's better to put your anthro in there. It's better to do that.
So for an average anthro, he's pretty...
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. He doesn't have as much muscle on him as he puts out in his pictures. He is developing body fat, and that's probably his association with you, like learning to be basically the plump guy is what I'd say.
Oh, okay.
And he's a little wary of becoming out of shape. He wants to be in a better shape, like fairly certainly. But his actions weren't like violent, and they weren't weak. They were very fast and very thought out and meticulous, and decidedly like Bruce Lee-ish, without the energy of Bruce Lee, which I no longer like, but very like, you know, type of like chi-like strong movements. And it was very hard to see him move. He moved faster than I could follow him several times. And as soon as I switched over to helping him hunt my main guy, which is kind of like back and forth with what we're doing so that he gets like a feel for the human hunting interface, you know. As soon as I switched over to helping him, the video got a lot of like different artifacts and errors and such. One of the heads of those green little things we sometimes see, the green eels or whatever they are, those moth things, one of the heads of those creatures just fell on my lap.
Oh.
You know, I have hunted this thing. It places it on you. You know, I got that sense.
So you were helping him, and the video couldn't handle it.
Yeah, the video got a lot of like disturbances and got like errors and so on, and the picture kept flicking to black, and it was like I was trying to be a missile where you just see like a picture and you switch to the center of what you think is interesting and then the next picture. I felt like that for a fairly long period of time.
Does that mean he didn't need help, or?
No, that with help he's able to do a lot of like interference on our electrical grid, interference in our internet, the same way I did with his planet. That he's able to like manifest that ability towards us.
Oh.
You know? That he's like causing interference the same way I caused on his planet. That he's like scanning the region or the thing that I'm working with and causing interference. It's probably a little more developed and directed than my ability of just scanning the entire planet. They're probably able to scan like the type of computer system we're using, but not like an individual laptop. So he probably generated some kind of data errors widely on the planet when he did that, but he's okay with it because, you know, fighter jet, you know what I mean?
Oh. Was that real time? Were you actually putting him in the jet, or because he's resting? Is he still?
I felt like he was awake. It could have been that he's sleeping and dreaming of the thing and seeing it through that. But I did definitely feel like he was awake. I did get a sense that he was like groggy or half asleep or sleepish or possibly even asleep. But I did get a more stronger sense that he was awake.
Yeah, I feel he's awake because I don't feel the peace. I just feel a denseness again.
Yeah, he's probably awake. And it was a very interesting experience. He watched it like in the live sense that you know that when you watch a live thing you can interface with it and have it do things that you demand. And that's the way he was watching it live as I was watching it. So he was like, get a mosquito. So he was like basically watching it live and trying to use his like spiritual abilities to shift the things around and use his technological abilities to like interfere with the thing.
What made you think about putting him in second instead of in leading the plane?
I almost always put the person that I'm like wanting to know how good they are in the place of the second, because the thing is basically a simulation.
Yeah.
The main pilot knows what's gonna happen like basically, and I know what's gonna happen like in a basic way, but the second pilot can influence things in like a deep way. It's like putting a police officer in the second chair when you know how the patrol is probably gonna go, but you don't know for sure. That you have like specific houses that you know you'll visit and specific people that you know you'll see, but you don't know that it's gonna go well. So it's better to put him in the second chair because it's easier to observe him from like both ends of the scale at the same time instead of just like one position, which would be like us observing him from the outside. If he was the main pilot, we would be like basically observing him from the other crafts, but this way he gets taken like into a very high place with like a higher self, a pilot self that goes high, you know, like an angel of sorts, and he gets taken to a very high place with that, and he doesn't like have to understand all the things himself. I almost always use the second chair because it does feel like it's more spiritually in tune with like things. It feels like that. The spot there, that mosquito bit is itching. It'll go away eventually. I should have taken a picture of my feet when I had a lot of those mosquito bites. It would have been really awkward to look at.
Do you get a feeling he was pretty happy to be able to be in that
was,
simulation or
yeah,
fly
he was
a plane?
excited. he was like quite strongly excited. He was also like anxious of doing well to prove it to you, and he was using a lot of energy. That's why he asked for water. He like went through his own water and wanted us to give him more. Like we gave him like basic energy, like, you know, purified piss in energy terms. Like we do the effort of bringing him like purified water, and that's like the basic of all energies, but not giving him like actual energies like vitamins or minerals or something of that nature. And that's all he needed to do the thing well. But he was probably so excited that he went through his own water supply. He was like, you know, sweated much, for example. I get a sense that he can sweat through his fur. That not like that there's sweat glands on the fur itself, but that there are sweat glands under the fur, so when he gets hot he can like sweat through his skin elsewhere than in his mouth, so he doesn't have to pant consistently. I do get that sense from him. I do get that sense from him.
So if he comes here, he might like my flight simulator.
Mm-hmm.
He likes games, you said.
Yeah, he likes games. I get the distinct impression. Not as much as I do, but probably more than you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. He probably won't like truly enjoy the flight simulator. It'll probably be too easy for him. But he'll enjoy like watching other people play very like fast-oriented games and trying to influence the other people to learn his psychic abilities. That's probably one of the things he'll enjoy. To be able to like work through others better. That's probably one of the things that he'll enjoy. Mosquito bite is really itchy. It's already developing one of those pockets.
So you think you found the perfect video to represent that?
Yeah, I almost always use the same flight video where I put a person in the second seat, and the video I found that I used with him like fairly strongly like has all the hallmarks of an alien contact. So it's probably a fairly good video to share, like in terms of my anthro flying an airplane, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
It's fairly good for that purpose. I would still be a little careful with it, but it seems like a good material.
And you watched that same clip before?
Yeah, many.
And he never said water before?
Never ever said water. Very distinctly never ever said water. Also, the main guy never said that he's bailing or bailing out. He never said that before, but now he said that he's bailing. And he clearly pointed out to the fact that he's like essentially fighting with a giant dog.
Yeah.
Because he was like, he has to fight with the second pilot to get the thing working well. And, you know, when they were doing the master arm on thing, where they can say off or on or on off at the same time, depending on how it feels like the weapon system is activated, he very clearly said on. And there was no confusion in his voice, so both sides probably understood that it's actual military technology. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a news article fairly soon of a like fighter jet randomly crashing in the desert. You know what I mean?
Oh, that'd be
I-
scary.
I
Did somebody die?
No, but you know, like that fighter jet that crashed into that warehouse in like California. The pilot ejected, but the jet like plowed into a warehouse. Nobody.
So
died.
an alien actually came to
Yeah.
fly a plane,
Yeah, they.
and he looked himself.
I don't know, but it distinctly had the energy of an alien. It's possible that the actual flight thing that the alien did was in one of their UFOs, and they picked it up. But usually there's like at the same time something happening with the species that they're using in the model to contact, and it feels like it's completely possible that they were doing a mock combat against them, and one of them crashed into like a mountain and the pilot ejected or something weird like that. We could keep an eye on the news for the next couple of days about fighter jet crashes and see what happens. It's possible that they got like some kind of news about that. Even if a fighter jet crashed and somebody died, I wouldn't hold him responsible.
He would bail on a training video.
It's possible that it became too real for him.
Oh,
Like the parameters of the simulation were exceeded, and he bailed and made it into like a different reality. You know what I mean?
Oh.
That it's no longer him controlling it, and he like goes like, "You can control this whole thing. I'm going by." No, that's possible.
did he eject in the video?
No. And he had the same voice talking afterwards, but that's possible to do with like computer simulation, you know what I mean?
Oh,
But it sounded like he said that he's gonna bail. These chairs are really hurting my butt. Even my round plump butt doesn't have enough softener to be on this chair for a long period of time. I miss lying down.
he's got a round butt, so if he sits in my lap, it's not going to poke me with bones. Not
Yeah.
going to be hurt.
I had a girl on my lap and half on another guy's lap, and her butt was very bony. It really hurt my hurt my leg, and I mentioned it getting out of the car, and the guy slapped me because I was being rude, and I was like, "What are you doing, man?" That was completely non-offensive. That was very rude of him.
So does he have is he wearing a helmet or something in technology, or does he have an implant or something to be in constant connection with us?
The thing he used to have the flight thing looked like an orb he was floating in, but not in like a liquid, but like in like empty space. It looked like an orb he was floating in, and the methodology that he's using to contact us reminds me of a normal computer laptop or like a tabletop computer where you write things.
Okay.
But it seems to be more like the Japanese symbol, where one symbol can mean like a long sentence, for example.
Oh,
So it's much quicker, and he puts out a lot more information into the thing than we can access without telepathy. He seems fairly good with it. There seems to be a lot of like information that gets passed by because he puts it in with such speed, you know.
well, he's moving faster time.
Yeah, that too, plus the fact that the species seems to be, based on this experience, a little faster than humans are. Like a little more like fidgety, I would even call, but definitely faster than humans are.
They're not skittish, are they? Like easily disturbed?
Doesn't seem to be, but he was definitely skittish when doing the flight. He was anxious. Like, are they gonna, like, once they get me into a flight, like, dissect me and put me in jars, or will I make a good performance for myself so, like, Thomas likes me and so on? You know, those things.
He feels he has to impress me?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely feels like he has to impress you.
He's afraid I won't like him or something?
No, he just wants to keep himself in a high position in your mind, like the position of somebody who's able to do things so that you don't have to like carry him. That's a very distinct energy that he's putting out. Hey, Loki. Intently staring at us through the window.
Oh.
Going like, the green outside. It looks lickingly good. Finger looking good.
Have you seen that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or something?
Yeah, I've seen
and they had to pick four answers. They had one that had a cat. It had a drawing of a cat, and it says, "Do you want to go inside or outside?" And he was sweating.
Nice. You put this in the trash. It's one of those sticker burrs, but it's very like covered in my clothing. I noticed it stinging me when I was wiggling my foot around in this pantsuit thing. He definitely made a good impression. The chiropractic guy was definitely like surprised by how powerful he was, and I was like, nice. In a way, always almost surprised as well. But he did perform himself well. I've seen faster pilots and stronger pilots, but he was definitely good. Like, definitely.
Did he do like the Matrix and like, I need the helicopter programming? He learned how to fly a plane?
No, the control system for the thing is very intuitive.
Oh.
It's like being inside another person and moving your energies side to side, and then focusing on what thought of his is hunting him, and then seeing the other plane hunt you, and doing things like that. It's very intuitive. You don't have to like put a lot of effort into learning it. You have to like basically understand like hunting, and that's about it.
Is he like in the Matrix? He's like, Jesus Christ, he's fast. Take a look at those neurokinetics. You remember that?
Yeah, that's basically the main guy's reaction, the chiropractic guy's reaction to the anthro. I no longer even see the code. What I see is red hair, brunette, blonde. That was a funny one.
It's like you with Norse map, you kind of just cease whatever with.
Yeah, I see a conversation between people instead of like code flashing before me.
Could I have a conversation with my anthro and you watch Norse map and see how that works, or would that not work?
You can probably learn to converse with your anthro by just watching Norse map. You can probably develop that into a significant ability, but it's a little difficult because Norse map, the website went down, so you'd have to use only the videos available.
You said the videos are degrading.
Yeah, they're definitely degrading. They'll eventually lose the ability to maintain their existence. It's too strong a tool for us. It's slowly being like...
They're losing structure?
Away. Yeah. It's like something that should be maintained in a level that we're not capable of doing, and it slowly dissipates on its own.
It's like you'll find videos on YouTube, and then when you're spiritually
Yeah.
high, and then when you drop down a little bit, you
You'll
can't
never
find them.
find them again. Yeah, stuff
I had
like
one,
that.
and it was a documentary about Palladian technology. Tells us that the central sun is a Sohar,
Yeah.
and where we live in the absolutum universe within 10 to the 46 power other universes. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow, and I never found that video again.
Yeah. I had one very interesting video where they were looking at like my soul in terms of like gravity balls orbiting each other like DNA, and how many personalities I have and how they interact with each other in a spinning motion around the center point of gravity. And they clearly discussed like the 4 chaos gods, and like a guide were discussing that thing, and there was very clearly each one of the 4 spirit guides, or like the 4 chaos gods, and they were discussing things about my like DNA and energy structure, and they many times referred to me as not sure. They like literally said that not sure's energy field looks like this, and they pointed at the picture. I was still using the title Not Sure and Bring Forth at that time.
Oh, I think I remember that.
Yeah, I had the name Not Sure. That was very funny. It was from Idiocracy, the movie. It was a very funny thing for me.
And then the video's no longer.
Yeah, I couldn't find it again. It was very interesting. I should have bookmarked it when I saw it. But you know, many of those things are like gifts that exist for a while, that you should bookmark them when you find them, so you can find them again. And even then, you can probably never find them again.
Yeah.
You know. And I saw one where Maisie Williams was giving an interview to somebody like who was really hostile to her, and the interviewer was like, "Don't you understand that these creatures come like eternally from the void, and like they'll be always there and always create themselves there?" And there were people who looked like fairly serious cosplayer versions of the Game of Thrones characters, but they weren't real Game of Thrones characters. It was like somebody was shining a distortion light on them, and they looked like mentally unstable cosplayers, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And the interviewer was very angry with her, and I was like, what am I seeing actually? Like, am I seeing somebody having a psychotic episode? Like she having a psychotic doubt, and the person getting through with their evil intent or something like that. And it was really weird. It was really like a powerful experience for me. And I never found it again.
Well, that's interesting. There's 10 to the 46 power universes within a larger absolutum universe.
Yeah. Weird specific mathematics.
10 to the 46, that means everybody could have their own universe. And
Easily, they have many universes. Every atom in our universe would have their own universe in another place. Like, that's the level of what it means. It's possible that the laptop plugin isn't actually as broken as I think, because it seems when I connected to the new one and I squeezed the connection port on the earphones like fairly hard, but not like hard enough to cause damage, the sound went like promptly. So it's possible that it's actually the earphones that are broken, or in the worst case both are broken.
Oh.
You know, but I did get the sound to come through with a lot less interference. But but kind of like I estimate that the sound quality is lower. You don't get the same kind of depth in the sound.
With the USB one?
Yeah, but I would still like to put it there and just like leave it there.
Yeah. How am I going to get where I can start playing games with them?
You'll get there eventually. You'll develop the abilities to play games with astral beings eventually if you like continue to develop. You'll develop the ability. It's not even all that difficult.
Yeah.
You'll probably want to try to stare at Norse map and try to provoke it into talking with you. You might want to try that at some point, you know, just to see what happens. Go like, if my guides are listening to me, please send a lot of green back and forth, and then green goes back and forth, and you go like, I wonder if this spot that sent the most cloud is my main guide, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know, stuff like that. You may want to like intentionally try to figure out if it's like talking. That might be an interesting exercise. It's one of the probably stronger ones that you could do.
Are you talking as if the Xantho is my guide?
as if you have like a human guide.
Oh,
You can probably pinpoint your Anthro and actually talk to him through Norse map fairly easily too, but that would require some amount of like spiritual true ability. Damn it, I got it, but it didn't die.
that was funny when I watched Spirit of the Forest. The trees were talking, and I was like, turn down the wisdom.
Yeah.
I had to. They had to. I don't remember what they were saying though.
I'm gonna smoke at least one more. I'm gonna have to make it.
We forgot to get tobacco when we were out.
Right, we did. You're gonna have to get it basically tomorrow. I keep dropping this tobacco from this container, so I'll have even less available. I have for like 3 full settings. This bag is really hard to open. Oh, such a pleasant smell. It smells like vanilla and baby powder. I wonder what would happen if I'd ask somebody like Bell Dandy to fly second seat. You know, would the guy freak out like hugely, obviously? And you know, I'm pondering about that option. I should probably test it.
Well, she rode the go-kart like easily.
Yeah, she was very good at like driving and flying. She's very good at it. It would probably be a very interesting experience.
Do you think I'm ready to start seeing strange quirks in reality?
Probably not. You're probably not ready yet to have like your auric sight open up very much.
Oh,
You're probably not ready for that yet, but it's possible that
I've
you
seen.
are.
I look at pictures, whatever. When my energy starts flowing and they start moving, like I'll see the character's hand move a little bit like this.
Yeah. Who knows? I do feel like it may be too strong a negative advice to tell you that you're not ready.
Yeah.
That it's possible that you're actually ready, but I would exercise some level of caution with auric sight at the moment.
Yeah.
I would perhaps strive to feel the nose better. That's perhaps what I would do. Maybe try to smell a strange quark. That would probably be an interesting experience. It's also, like, for a normal random human person, probably a tiny bit more dangerous to develop smelling than sight. But I'm about 50-50 at it. I don't know. It could be that sight is more dangerous. I kind of feel that way.
How is smelling dangerous?
You have to connect them with your field. A sight you can do at a distance. You don't have to connect them to your field.
Oh yeah.
But to smell them, you have to like have a physical particle flowing through the air getting to you. So like seeing a strange quark may not be as dangerous as smelling a strange quark. Know what I mean?
Oh.
But I don't know. It's just like a weird hunch, perhaps. I like to always point out that these are just hunches. That I don't know anything for sure. Hey, what the bleep do I know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got a mosquito, nice. That's a big bug. I wonder what kind of a bug it is. It's unusually large. Moving away from us very distinctly. And now it's coming back towards us.
Can you sense
What
it?
are you?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, you're a wasp. Go the fuck away from me. You're a very big wasp. Yeah, it was a huge wasp. Like the queen-sized wasp. What you were saying?
Can you sense if he drives or if he gets road rage or he probably just walks?
I feel like driving a private car is kind of rare on his home world, but he's had the experience that most cars are like professional taxis and package deliveries and large trucks instead of like a lot of private cars that you get an easy driver's license to. I feel that. But in this particular case, I do feel fairly strongly that I could also be wrong, that there are a lot of cars there. But somehow I do get the sense that there aren't many.
They don't pump a lot of oil, I don't think, do they?
Yeah, they don't seem to have the kind of highly developed oil pumping infrastructure that we do. But they do have the ability to hunt for very specific energy resources much more accurately than we do. They don't have like a couple of large oil well countries that produce the oil for the rest of the planet, but they have like very specifically located oil supplies on top of which they build things like cities, you know, for the cheap energy instead of piping it a long distance. That's kind of what I feel like. Did you get another mosquito?
I didn't get him.
Oh. A lot of those mosquitoes are biting me. How long have you been recording?
43 minutes.
That's a nice long record. I thought 30 minutes. Time dilation again.
He tries to impress me, but I don't know how to impress him.
Nah, you'll figure out things. Your dedication to psychic smelling is probably impressing him. That's probably having an impressing effect upon him. When you listen to that Nightcore song, you're gonna be a huge Nightcore fan and come out of your room like, yeah, Nightcore, man! You know? Nah. But I do feel like that's a possibility. Water. Fireworks.
So if the video is 18 minutes long, or the fighting part,
The fighting part is about 15 minutes long. It takes them a couple of minutes to like explain the mission and get airborne.
his time flows faster. So for him, it was like 5 minutes.
Yeah, maybe something along those lines. Maybe like 8 minutes instead of 10 minutes. You said that you never heard artillery before I came here, and I noticed an artillery thing a few times. And I'm hoping it's just you starting to notice your environment more instead of me bringing the artillery to you.
Oh,
I hope that's what it's called, what's happening instead of the other thing. That I'm not like literally bringing the war over to you. I hope that's not the case. Which one do you think it is?
I'm not outdoors a lot, so I probably just never heard it.
Okay. You're getting a lot more time outdoors now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're sitting here for hours enjoying the outdoors and casually smoking like occasionally. And you don't even smoke that often, you're just like in the presence of people smoking. You occasionally have your vape with you and then we like smoke together. I hope I'll be able to distance myself from the energies of the Anvil when the time comes.
Yeah.
I hope that's good, that I don't start to become clingy on him. I've occasionally got the fairly strong impulse that he comes from the same civilization Meldandy comes from, but somehow I doubt that. I think it's her just empowering the signal. Though I do sense a distinct sense of like wolf angel about the civilization you're contacting instead of anthro, you know what I mean?
Oh.
That they do feel like the male side of Beldandy feels like, because he feels like a sheep with occasional leather-like fur. His coat is very sheep-like, and it's very wool-like, and it's definitely like a winged angel. So they all look like fluffy sheep, you know what I mean? Like the sheep civilization will develop into the angel civilization. I do get like a sense of that, but they're probably separate civilizations.
Right now, do you think he would prefer me to give him more space or to learn more about him?
I think learn more, like enjoy the early parts of the relationship where you're still actively learning about the other person. Like enjoy that part. I get the sense.
Are we going to do one more recording tonight?
Probably 2.
That'll be 6 total.
Yeah. 5 would probably be good. We'll see. Depending on how we feel, I don't want to exhaust myself like I did last night and drop into really deep sleeps. I want to have a pleasant sleep this night. But it may be impossible because we're doing highly positively polarizing work, so the negatives have to be given their window too.
Yeah.
It may be impossible for me to sleep well as long as I'm doing work like this. Do you still have the link to the goddess show?
Yeah.
Good.
Have you seen every Seinfeld episode?
Nah, nowhere near. I've seen like 10 of them, and I've seen the clips from many of them. I watched like their clip shows online and linked those to the things I was doing.
There's enough irreverence in it to make it apply to anything.
Yeah. We'll probably find something that really well applies to our situation, I feel like. With the karmic payback or such. It feels very helpful to know my guide by name, like my higher self by name. That I can clearly say that to a random spirit that Anton Kuivanen is my higher self. That it's not just like a guide, and nobody can say that they're him when I know that they're not him. It's really helpful. I don't have to like question the spirits at all. I can go like, you are not Anton or you are Anton, like very clearly. That's very good. He feels like a very soft guiding energy. And I once again killed a mosquito. It was biting me again. I may want to take a shower today. I feel a little rancid.
A shower in the back room?
Yeah, in the back room. It was a good shower.
I can't do the psychic smelling now because my mom's using paint thinner.
Put this in the trash. I'm gonna go get a new lighter. I didn't even notice the smell of the paint thinner. Now I know. He wanted to get out. He didn't get out.
I really like to think that I've connected with who I really want to connect with. I wouldn't be really impressed with this sheep society.
Yeah. I feel like the society connecting is a good side for you. They could be the same species, you know, like four-legged, bald, and furred animals. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But it feels like it's a little unlikely. Though I do feel like a strong sense of that it may be true that you're connecting to the same kind of angelic society that I connected to. You know, I feel like it's a strong possibility, but it's probably not even 50%. It's probably like 20%, 30%. Then you've basically connected with the angel society in a pursuit of a boyfriend for yourself.
so I would get an angel boyfriend?
Yeah, basically, if you've connected with their society. I somehow feel it's a little unlikely. Loki traveled to the backyard really quickly, and he's like, I think I noticed him trying to like look at, yeah, there he is.
He's out?
Yeah, he made a loud sniffing sound in the backyard. There we go. He's looking at us through the fence and going like, why aren't you letting me out? That was the one I was aiming for. Ow. Left side still won't open, but the right side finally opened. Ow! I was really deep in there. There's a mosquito on your leg. Other side. There. There we go. Before it like bites you. And there's a mosquito biting me. A lot of mosquitoes around. I'm sensing that it's possibly the same civilization because the sheep-like angel that I felt is actually the spirit bear guy that I have, or the spirit badger guy that I have following me around. So and he is like a spirit badger, and he feels like a soft-wooled sheep when I touch him in the astral. So it's kind of from the same direction, that it doesn't have to be like an archetypical actual sheep instead of like a very wooled dog, but to me he feels like a sheep, like a wooled sheep. But you know, I don't know. The paint thinner is giving me a mild headache.
I never know, so I'm not going to break it off.
Yeah.
I want to really build with him, whoever he is.
Yeah. It's good that you're willing to accept other possibilities, but he does indeed seem like an anther to me.
That'd be a sucky person if I rejected him because of that.
Yeah. It's not good to cough like that when I'm eating a big meal. I feel like vomiting. I may accidentally vomit a little in my mouth when I cough like that, and it's very uncomfortable. Do you now feel like you have a better understanding of what that Futurama episode was about, with the time-traveling senator attending his own birth? You know?
I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah, I just thought about it myself, and it fairly clearly like points at your new anthro friend, a time-traveling senator attending his own birth. You know what
We
I
watched
mean?
that before this anthro?
Yeah, we watched that sometime before that. You know, time travel.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
It starts to feel like it's making sense to me. Ugh. Yeah, I'm ready to go inside.